Live from a fantasy world that's oddly named It's Malignant Bear, featuring me, JD Grospitz. Hello everyone, and welcome to what's going to be kind of a strange stream. Originally I was going to do this as a video, just doing a quick look at this game, but I thought it might be a little more ironic to do it as a stream, and I'll explain as we go in. So Nevergrind Online is an MMO distilled to its most pure elements. This is classic kind of Everquest, Ultima Online sort of era MMO, just taken to its most base level, which when I saw it in my Steam queue over the winter sale just fascinated me. I really like the idea of sort of demakes of games, just simplifying them to just their base mechanics basically. And so this was right up my alley. It's very simple, which isn't a knock against it. It does exactly what it's supposed to do, and I think that's kind of neat. But we are going to do this. This is an MMO. It has a full online mode, but it also has an offline mode, and so I wanted to do a live stream of the single-player version of an MMO. And I say it's oddly named because, of course, it's very grindy. It's an MMO, especially a classic one. But if you are the type of person who is interested in something like this is a very niche game. If you're someone who's interested in this, you probably already know about this. But just in case, I did want to highlight this. And again, do this as a quick stream. This probably won't be a very long stream. But there was a little bit more than I thought I could fit in a video. So without any further ado, here's Nevergrind Online. So right away, we see the little town that we're going to spawn in when we start. This is some main character. I don't know if she has a name, I can't remember. And we see all of the updates that the game has gotten. As far as I know, there's only a single dev working on this game. It helps if I unmute the audio. As far as I know, there's only a single dev working on this game. And they put out content at a pretty good pace for just one person working on it. It's a lot of little quick fixes and things like that. But you can see they've had a decent number of major updates as well. So, and there's a lot of content in here. Again, provided you know what you're going in for. So we're going to play offline. And you can see I played just a little bit. I made a bard, got him to level 5. And I looked ahead, I looked at some of the Steam guides and screenshots and stuff. And it looks like, it's kind of standard MMO. You'll be doing the same thing for quite a while. So we'll look at that character later, but we're going to first go into the character creator, just so we can see what we're working with here. So you have a whole bunch of different races here. I believe it's 14 races and 14 classes. We're going to start off with a boring old human, just so we can see all of the classes, because I think that might be a little more exciting. So humans are a fearless, intrepid race hailing from Edinburgh, the imperial capital of Vandemore. Despite their balanced attributes, their fearless leadership is legendary. Humans are highly resistant to fear, have strong spirit regeneration, and a bonus to slashing weapons. So each race has different stats and little bonuses that they start out with, which are useful for these attributes. And then there's all these classes. Before we look at the classes, though, I do want to highlight this. I'm pretty sure this is some AI-generated art, which I'm not crazy about. I understand, especially with it just being a one-person dev team, that you might have to do this. And it's definitely thematic and nostalgic. I get what they're going for here. I would always just rather real art. But that's just me. But again, I just wanted to point that out. Anyway, let's look at the classes. So you can be a bard, that's what I made. Bard's a utility class that can wear plate armor, which I thought was kind of neat. They can fill any role in a pinch, but their true strength lies in making everyone in their party better. Their inspirational songs can motivate any party and help them defeat a powerful foe. Standard bard. Cleric. Clerics are a healing class that can also wear plate armor. It's a little bit of a departure there. Specialize in direct healing their allies in combat. They have powerful spells, strong magic-based stuns. Crusader is a tank class that can also wear plate. Basically paladins, if you're familiar with more modern MMOs. Druids are druids. They're a healing class that can wear leather armor, strong healing spells, and some of the best regenerative spells. Also highly powerful elemental spells. So again, nothing too unusual. Enchanters are a utility class that can wear cloth armor. Among the cloth-wearing casters, their magic does the least amount of damage, but they have the strongest support spells in the game. Ability to subvert and control the battle makes them valuable to any party. So you can see there's different classes that are going to be good at different things. So it's, you know, a little odd that we're doing the single player because some of these are basically not going to work super well for us. But I also did level up a monk a little bit as well. Got them, I think, to level 10. Monks are physical damage dealers that can wear leather armor. Monks discipline themselves and practice martial arts to convert their bodies into a devastating force of nature. So again, fist weapons or blunt weapons. They can even do some light healing and stuff. Monk was pretty cool. Ranger, physical damage dealer that can wear mail armor. Their only class has powered by bow damage. So again, Ranger. Rogue are a physical class that can wear mail armor. A little bit of a departure there from the usual leather-wearing rogue. Elusive combat style weaves a vicious combination of misdirection, stealth, illusions, and poison. Shadow Knights are another tank class that can wear plate armor. They have melee skills and spells to aid them in combat. The strongest offensive potential among all tanks with deadly abilities like Fear and Life Tap. Shaman are healing the class that can wear mail armor. Their ability to buff the party and debuff mobs is capable of turning the tables with ease. Templars are a magical utility class that can wear leather armor. They're among the most flexible casting class with a varied assortment of spells at their disposal. Ability to heal along with buffs makes them exceptional party members. Warlocks are magic class with cloth armor. Powerful damage over time. Strike fear into enemies. Sounds familiar if you're seen warlocks in other games. Can transform into a lich and steal health. Warriors are warriors. They're tank class that can wear plate armor. Strongest physical defense and highest hit points in the game. And then wizards are wizards. I don't think I have to explain wizards too much. But yeah, so there's a lot of different classes. You can kind of see, again, like I said, certain ones are going to want certain group combinations and things. Every class has different stats they want to focus in. You have your strength for attack power, stamina for health, agility for dodge and natural armor. Dexterity is also attack power, but also more of your defensive stats and crit. Wisdom is your maximum spirit, which we'll see when we get in the game. Intellect is maximum mana and the power of spells. And charisma is maximum spirit and power of another type of spells. Interesting to see charisma in a game where there is no, roll to seduce. But male and female have different abilities and stats as well. So males have strong ice and arcane resistance. Women receive a boost to blood and poison resistance, and that is the same for every single race. And each race has different abilities as well. So we have dragon people. They have blood resistance. They can find extra gold. They have tougher skin, but different classes are locked off to them. So I did humans at the start just so we could see all of them. Barbarians are barbarians. Strong cultural preference for clubs and mallets, and they're the most powerful wielding blunt weapons. Makes sense. Dark elves. Evil elves. Oops. Steal health from everybody. Makes sense. It's to be pretty strong as Shadow Knight since it does that by default. Dwarves are dwarves. They have extra resistances. Gnomes are gnomes. They are smart. Resistant to silence. Half-elves are not quite elves and not quite humans. Let's see. Yeah. A modest bonus to all non-casting skills. Halflings are not gnomes. Whereas gnomes are smart spellcasters, halflings are the nimble pranksters with high agility and dexterity. Elves' ears are not pointed enough. There we go. Okay, that's better. Despite their resemblance to wood elves, their strengths are in spell casting. Makes sense. So yeah, wood elves are there at the bottom. Humans we saw. Could be cat people. Be cat girls, of course. What are their bonuses? Athleticism. So yeah, they're good at, ranger, rogue, that sort of thing. Ogres. Passive stun resist helps them fight back. They're weak to magic. Orcs. orcs do physical damage bonus and are highly skilled with two-handed weapons. You can be seraphs, naturally gifted at spellcasting, and modest bonus to all passive casting skills. And wood elves, better at archery. Okay. So, we have a bard already, and we'll switch to that after we check out something else. Let's go with... would be an orc. I wish there was a randomized button here. That is another minor gripe with the game. Hopefully they can add one. Just pick... I want one like real fierce looking. I can't remember what race my bard is, but I know it's a guy, so we'll go with an orc warrior. Orc spits. Distribute our stats. Alright, put 4 more points in dexterity. Alright, let's go for it. Alright, so you can see Orc Spit's our warrior. I think Grosspitz is just a human, so jump in. Visit Gwendolyn at the tavern and embark on your first mission. So here we are in town. There's no movement mechanics or anything. The portraits over on this side to block the chat because there isn't anything to see in the chat, so it made sense. And this is going to be our combat log. Yeah, they have a Discord that's apparently fairly active. Although I can say that there's not a whole lot of people playing the game online, which again makes sense. It is a fairly niche title. But all right, so here we are. There's the tavern. It's Gwendolyn again. Welcome to Edinburgh Tavern. The king has requested the services of brave adventurers like yourselves to defend our homeland from the forces of darkness. How do you choose to serve? So this is how you quest. Get these little quests here. Pick where you want to go. The perfect task for a new adventurer. I've received reports of Peon Gog marauding the Edinburgh countryside. Traveling merchants have been robbed and assaulted, making it perilous to transport goods to rural areas. To send to Salubrim Haven to put an end to him at once. So each dungeon, from what I can tell, has like a couple different missions in it. But it doesn't super matter, because they all kind of look the same anyways. But you just have a different objective in each one, just to keep it going. There's a bunch of these, though. As you level up, you'll unlock more and more at different locations that do have different tile sets and different enemies, so... But it's like everything in, you know, Salubrim Haven is going to look pretty similar and have pretty similar enemies, but Tendalin Passage is going to be different, basically. Alright, but before we do that, let's check out some of the other stuff here. This is nothing yet. This is the bank. You can store things, access them from other characters, good way to transfer items. The apothecary. So you can buy some gear. So we can see some really basic gear here. We don't have any money. But we can get, you know, a belt that gives plus to strength and lightning resist. Or shoes that give agility. Or bracers that give wisdom. Oops. Then there's the academy. This is where we train our skills. So every class has a dozen skills. You can see down here at the bottom. Kind of standard MMO fare, 1 through the plus sign on your keyboard there. You only start off with 4. I think every class does. You can see you get all of them by... what is it? Level 5, yeah. You have all your skills by level 5, and then they start to improve, basically. So, Shield Bash, we can bash our target. See the rank, the mana cost. Threat is a mechanic in this game, so you can tank. Enhanced damage, hit modifier, crit modifiers. You can see the stats there. And this is what I'm talking about in terms of this is, you know, MMO distilled to its most basic elements. You have those numbers, you want them to go up. You have your skills that do very certain things. Classes have very specific group roles that they can do. Rupture, do some bleed damage. Pummel, stuns things, can't be parried. And then Primal Stomp, staggers target. Alright, you can see we can get some more skills later on there. Whirlwind, Double Throw, That's pretty cool. Shockwave. Frenzy, regenerate health. Jump strike. Bulwark, shield yourself. Yell at stuff. Or yell at your teammates to boost them. Cleave. Blacksmith, more gear. And again, different types of gear have different proficiencies. So, again, certain characters can only wear certain types of armor. Another merchant here. Again, more gear. We'll see more of this once we get in. Look at our character sheet. We don't start with very much. Some basic resistances here, 6 types. Our stats, you can mouse over them, see what they do. Our attack, our armor, our damage. So all the different slots that you can equip. Sword, your tunic, your shield, start with not a whole lot of anything. You have skills here. As we get further on, we can unlock more skills as well. Eventually we can dual wield. Double attack with your standard attack. We can't dodge until we're level 6. We're not very strong. Or not very fast, I guess. And then you have some of your more basic skills. So again, you know, probably want to level up your ability to use one-handed weapons. Classic old school MMO fare. If you're familiar with classic WoW as well, you're used to these sorts of things. All of your stats, all of those numbers that you want to increase, or in some cases decrease. But there's a whole bunch of them. Again, good old RPG mechanics. This is what you want. There's even magic find. And there's talents. This is apparently a relatively new addition to the game. So, you can see, you can level up specific stats there with our talents, or some of our specific skills as well. Just look at those very briefly there. See what we're going for. Alright. And that's pretty much it as far as what's in town. There's a small little inventory. You can upgrade that over time if you want to. Go to the tavern and embark on our first mission. Automatically sends you there. Don't even have to do anything. Maybe. Did it? Don't tell me it crashed. Okay, we're good. Alright, so you get recap of what you have to do. As far as I can tell, it's never anything different. It's always just go through a dungeon, a randomized dungeon, and kill something at the end. Every dungeon can be repeated, but you get a bonus to magic find the first time you do it. So it encourages you to try to do everything once. There's no movement or anything. We spawn in this room. We can't move around it. But we can go... See the little map over here? We can go down the various hallways. So the torch is where we are. Go backwards. Can't turn around or anything. So... can only move forward and back. I mean, I can... you know, I could go backwards, but I can't, like... turn the camera around. This is just straight going. So here, let's fight another orc. A different orc. Here we are. You can see. Combat log down there. Let's start using our skills. Automatically attack here. So whenever you have your weapons equipped, they'll show up there. Primary weapons. Ranged if you have it. And your potions. So you have your mana, or your health, your mana, and your spirit. It's different skills use different things. Click your abilities, or use the hotkeys. Makes sense. And this is it. Again, like I said, old school MMO. The most basic elements. This is what you're going to be doing. You're just fighting stuff like this. This is described as a blobber. So you just go and you fight blobs of enemies. There's no having to worry about your positioning or anything like that. Enemies do have little slots that they spawn in. Might see. So yeah, consider it almost like a grid where they will spawn. Like there's one there, one there. They can. And if you have area attacks, you want to consider where you're targeting them. So you target your enemies like that. It shows your little portrait of who they're attacking. Oops. We might die here because this thing is a unique beast. Yeah, oh, we're getting wrecked here. Don't know if there's a way to retreat. Never had to before. We died. So again, the graphics, it's not a lot of them, they're very simple. But again, it's in support of you focusing on the RPG elements. Again, distilled down to its base. And I think that's kind of neat as a concept. So because we're super low level and we die, we didn't lose anything, but the enemies in the room got randomized again. So that rare is no longer there. See our combat log, how much damage we're doing. If our skills go up, you'll see them there. XP bar is over there. Again, auto attacks, you don't have to worry about that. If you are in a group, you'll see other group members down there. And this is it. Just kill your standard low-level RPG enemies here. Dungeons are randomized every time. And you can find, you can get loot from enemies, you can find chests, you can find shrines, some, unique little events and stuff like that. It's your total combat time and your damage report there at the end. When you're in a hallway that has nothing in it, you'll go a little faster, which is nice. You might want to cycle back and visit some other stuff. Okay, we want to put our dots up on every target here. Get him, kill that snake. We got some loot. So our inventory is really small, which we saw before. So you can loot items or just dismiss them, which means you just destroy them, basically. I'm gonna loot both these, though. See what we got. So we can't equip unidentified items, makes sense. Because who knows what that could be. Did get a mace. It's way better than our sword. Hold on to it for now. So again, we have the abilities to use swords and maces. So we'll use the stronger item. Why not? See, our one-hand blunt skills going up. It's important, you have to keep those skills leveled. Doing pretty good. Obviously, the more gear we get, the better we're going to do. Slow going at the start, though, until you start getting said gear. Do you have some passive regen? There's plenty of skills that boost that as well. But again, you can min-max with the different races and classes and all that. So, although I do have to say, I feel like it's very slight bonuses between male and female characters. But classic MMO logic tells me that being able to resist poisons and bleeds is probably better than the slight physical resist. Ooh. That men get. At least I think it's slight physical resist. Oops. No. Can auto run. There's a key for that. I found that out recently. Let's get down this hallway. It's getting totally randomized. Can teleport back to town as long as you're not in combat at any point, but then it resets the dungeon and re-randomizes it as well. So, again, if your bags get full or you're just overwhelmed, maybe you started with the higher level dungeon, for example. Oh, all sorts of good stuff here. Okay. Again, again, if you're watching this and thinking, boy, JD, this seems really boring, this is essentially what you're doing in every MMO. When you really think about it. You're going out, you're fighting stuff, trying to kill them before they kill you. Your numbers go up, their numbers go down. There's little to no lore or quest dialogue or anything, and we'll see at the end. I don't know if that changes later on, or maybe that's something they're going to add, but I did notice that there's like, you know, there's a sentence or two of like, oh, go, you know, kill this orc or whatever in this cave. And that's about it. Just some very simple flavor text, which is fine, again. I think the biggest issue, though, is there doesn't seem to be any rewards or follow-up or anything when you actually finish a mission, which is odd. It's just, you go on to the next one, that's it. Which, again, distilled down, but... Alright. And we're burning through mana. So we could use our bow if we want to, but it's not nearly as strong. Oh man, we're getting some good loot here. Running out of space, let's destroy our starter sword. Need that anymore. A shrine. As we go through this other orc that's not us. Wishes he was. Alright, swap targets. The bleed should kill him. There we go. So even solo, you can kind of, you know, get strategic, think about what you're going to do. Obviously, the game is designed with multiplayer in mind. Shrine. Serendipitous vibrations bless you with good fortune. Your magic find is increased by 20%. Would have been cool if we got that at the start, instead of later. That's okay. See your buffs up there in the top. One big key feature that I wish this game had, and I think other people have mentioned this on the Steam like discussion board or whatever, is if you could play it single player like a party-based game, where you could just make, you know, 5 characters, load them all in at once, and just go for it. That would be really cool. And maybe that's something they're working on. It might be, you know, an upcoming feature, or it's just too hard to implement or something. It is all real time, so that might be a little difficult to do and balance and everything. But I do appreciate the fact that there is a single player mode, so you don't have to worry about, you know, them turning off the servers of this game or whatever. Always the eternal fear of an MMO. We leveled up too, as you can see up there. Top. Talents. So these other ones we can't get until we get more points later on down the road. Stamina again? Maximum health. No, we want to do more damage. Put points in Goliath. Alright, get ready, Snake. Now I'm level 2. They're blue, so that means they're lower level than me. Getting reduced XP from them. Look at that. DPS went way up. Let's get our dots out and then see if enemies have different resistances, any debuffs that they have on them. I do wish you could mouse over them and they would say what they were. But again, the game is being actively worked on, so... Come on. I will say Monk was really fun because you had a lot of like AoE abilities right at the start. And in sort of classic Monk fashion, you could see, even from a low level, how their abilities were meant to kind of chain together. So you could build combos very quickly and easily. Then we'll show off a little bit of Bard after this, just so we get a melee class and a spellcaster. Well, sort of spellcaster. They're basically magic. Alright, that denotes the boss. We're almost there. We haven't gotten any loot in a while, but after we got our boost to magic funds. The eternal struggle. Where you find that as like the last room. Come on. Nothing. Alright. We'll wait for our health and mana and stuff to regen. Some classes have abilities they can cast outside of combat, so you can go in and like pre-buff before you start. But then they also tick down, so you want to kind of balance how much you're going to be waiting to regen versus those buffs. We don't have to worry about that though. Warriors don't need buffs. Okay, we get the trash mob down. There he is, Peon Gog. Unique and dauntless. I don't know what that means in this situation. Alright. Just you and me, other orc. Match of the century. Some very basic, kind of stock sounds and music. Easy enough things to add more of, though, over time. I'm curious where all of the like art assets and models and stuff came from. Oh, there's an extra bonus room. Can teleport out now that the quest is done. We might as well keep going, though. Just because there's only one more room, so get a little bit more stuff. Although we're full up on things, actually. Multiple enemies in this hallway. Doing some serious damage now. Can't believe that. Did he block it? What happened there? Oh, an identification scroll, but we don't have room to get it to identify things. We don't need a belt. Let's take this, identify the ring. Okay. It's plus agility and resist fire. At low levels, any stats are a huge bonus, so. But again, as you get higher up, you can, and we'll see when we get other gear, and even on the Bard, just, you know, being able to min-max and do all the RPG stuff. Pick the stats that are relevant to you and your build and what you want to do. All of that good essential gameplay is here. Oh, pants. Sick. We weren't wearing pants before. So, alright, return to town? Yep. Get a nice little report. So we were in there for a total of 17 minutes, in combat for 8, almost 9 of that. So we go back to the tavern, you can see it's checked off, but that's it. You don't get any sort of... There's no conclusion to any quest that you do, really. There's some tips and stuff in game, so you can find out more information about all the features, and there's a lot of them. Which is kind of neat. Go to the apothecary, because this is where we can identify all of our gear that we got. Alright. Let's see. Okay, spirits. Resist arcane, resist fire, plus to one-handed and spirit regen. Or, no, plus to two-handed, I should say. I believe, yeah, based on speed stats, lower is faster. At least that's what I would assume, right? I think daggers would be pretty quick. Can we use daggers? We can. Can't dual wield yet, though, so... 25% enhanced armor, strength, charisma, and resist ice. We don't have gloves, so we might as well use them. Also, we want strength anyways, so... Can we already use... two-handed stuff? We sure can. Okay. That's what we have here. Agility Man and Conjuration. Or Giant Mace. HP Leech, yeah, we want that. Alright, we're gonna be... Some hotkeys, you can, you know, insta-sell things. Let's see, DPS 1.5, 1.4. Gonna be bold, we don't need any of that trash. It's just slowing us down. Gear's pretty expensive. They definitely want you to go out and find some. We can get Whirlwind, yes. And Bulwark, totally useful without a shield. Swing swiftly, right. First AoE ability, alright. We will camp and log out. We'll look at the options here very, very briefly. Again, very simplistic, but it works. I like that these are like actual little knobs here. That's a nice touch. Again, very old school. We're gonna camp and log out. Check out the bard real quick here. So you can see I've done a couple more quests. They're all pretty quick. Again, like 15-20 minutes. Actually even faster if you're not, you know, talking over and explaining things. You can see we have pretty much all of our gear slots filled. We're using a bow more than anything, because it did way more damage. And we had a bunch of other gear that gave bonuses to archery. So, health regen, ice damage to melee. So you can see already, like, oh, you can get some pretty interesting gear. You know, you can have, you know, ice damage on your melee attacks from a low level. You can build and have extra firepower damage or one-handed skills. Actually, our melee might be a lot stronger now. Maybe not. So again, there's a lot of stuff going on there. See all of our passives. Bigger numbers are better. All of our stats here. Again, even just from, you know, going from level 2 to level 5, there's more stuff going on here. And there's going to be more and more and more the further you go. Take a look at our skills. Just so we can see, again, Bard versus other stuff. Actually, we'll start a mission, why not? You seen an orc shaman? Go kill him. You got it, lady. That scorpion. I bet we'll fight some of those. Alright, so we'll look at our skills then before we go into battle. Can bellow, arcane damage, and it taunts things, which is kind of interesting. Again, we're a plate-wearing class, actually. Has a chance to stagger. Sonic Boom is a cone of arcane damage. Stuns. Euphonic Dirge, poison damage over time in a cone, again. AoE attacks, good. Fire damage in a cone, awesome. Lowers armor. Crashing Chords, paralyzes targets. Lightning damage. So you have a lot of different elemental types, which is neat. Again, bards are basically spellcasters. And then classic bard fashion, we have a whole bunch of group buffs here. So we can boost the strength, dexterity, and attack haste of all allies while active. Boost everybody's health, mana, and spirit. Deal arcane damage over time. I think you might be able to move skills around. I'm not sure, though. I haven't really tried it yet. But passive health regen for everybody. Mana regen. reduces resistances of mobs, and buffs armor. Alright, let's go wreck something. Wreck the spider. Look at him, just sitting there menacingly. Alright, get ready. See our cast bar there? You do get, what is it, like, interruption damage, basically, as you cast, you can see there. Oh, he's resistant to poison. I'm wasting time casting poison on him. Pretty strong, actually. Yeah, we're using our melee weapon instead of our bow. With ranged attacks, you can hit units in different locations, which matters more when there's more stuff on screen. Some of our buffs, we can use them outside of combat, like I said. As they start to fade, they will decrease. We can see when we mouse over them, they have duration. I do wish that it would list it just right there, but again, minor gripe. Alright, can tab a target. Oh yeah. See our heals coming up there. We're still taking damage over time, so you could potentially die outside of battle. Get one more fight. Guy's on a level 3, or level 2 even. Wow, I can't read. Wrecked him. Can identify right away. 5% enhanced damage and increased attack speed. Alright, one more fight, one more fight. See, I have a little bit more inventory space. See, obviously the game is ironically named. It's Nevergrind, but that's what you're doing. But again, if you know about this, then you know that coming in. So return to town. But yeah, this is Nevergrind Online. Like I said, there's a little bit more content than I wanted to put in a video, just to make sure that I was showing more of the stuff to give it more of a fair shake, but not quite enough to justify maybe a full stream. Again, not anything against the game, but you see it at this point. You know whether or not this is for you. So it is a very cool idea. I definitely appreciate that this exists. Like I said, I like the concept of games like this that take a genre and just, this is its most base elements without it just being a text-based game or an idle game. So you're still having to do all the things. You're still playing this like a full-blown MMO. You're doing all that stuff. You can form parties. You can chat. You know, there's all sorts of different things you can do in this. They're even adding more endgame content now that people are getting to higher and higher levels. But it's nothing fancy either, so it just works. And sometimes that's all you need. So I believe this dev is also working on a full-blown single-player RPG, so. But yeah, maybe something to keep an eye out for. Again, I like highlighting kind of interesting little games like this, so worth checking out if you think this seems neat. So, but yeah, short stream, like I said. I certainly enjoy this for what it is. Again, not something I'm going to sink hundreds of hours into, but definitely wanted to highlight. So, whether you're here live or you watch this VOD later on down the road, I hope you enjoyed this too. And until next time, have a good one.